Okay, everything seems to be cool. Let's check it out here. And we are live once again with another show. Yep, works perfectly. Hello everybody. And here we start another live show for your enjoyment. Hopefully. So, hey everyone, welcome aboard. This is another tech show. This is a live tech show we have every Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 1900 hours Universal Time. And this is a tech show number 80. Yep, round number 80. And of course, we are Tuesday, June the 6th, 2017. And of course, this is a show where I answer your tech questions. The way we work out is we start with the questions that come from the email, and we add questions from the chat room if there are some questions. And this is, of course, show number 80. Next week is our last show before I take a break for the summertime. And of course, we'll be talking about that a little later on. And of course, we'll be explaining a little more because I've received a lot of questions, a lot of little things, and a lot of people are wondering, am I coming back or not with live shows here? We're going to discuss that a little later in the slides here. So basically, we answer your questions. I start with those. And of course, hello everybody in the chat room. I will be, of course, back to you and a little later during this show. And of course, later on today, we have the Windows Insider Hour at 6 p.m. Eastern, 2200 hours UTC. It's getting a long time now, almost 3 weeks without a new Insider build. Pretty amazing time, pretty long time before we're getting something. So, hey everybody, welcome. Hope everyone is okay. For those that wonder, Tim Robinson posted just a few minutes before the show that he is picking up his wife and will be back in about 20-25 minutes. So if you wonder where Tim is, should be there a little later. And welcome everybody on board. And of course, this show is a show that you can help me out if you want me to continue doing these live shows and all sorts of videos and helping out. It is much appreciated if you can help me out. You can become a patron at patreon.com/radioandcomputers. Just make sure that you check out how you became a patron, because somebody's mad at me because he didn't set a limit and was like, Patreon tried to charge $1,000 to his account, which he didn't find really fun. And after I looked at how he set it up, I noticed he had not put any limits and had not checked it out correctly. So if you become a patron, just make sure that you understand and that you set that limit that you don't want to go over every month. Very, very important. You can also, if you have a PayPal account, or if you don't have a credit card, by the way, PayPal actually is cool for that. It can take the money directly from your checking account if you want, which is pretty cool. And of course, the Yahoo email that you see here is where you can send the money if you can help me out. You know what? The donations have been helping me out really a lot. They've been actually helping me continue and do these things, as the AdSense monetization isn't very good. So it's very, very nice. And I want to thank everybody that have donated, by the way. And maybe you never donated, but you're a regular viewer to the show. You enjoy what I do. Why not think about it? Really helps me a lot. And of course, if I've helped you in any way, maybe I've helped you fix a problem on your computer thanks to a video or something, you didn't have to call that tech guy. Well, why not think about, maybe I should give him a little something in return. And I want to thank you, everybody that have donated. And of course, if you can donate, don't worry about it. It is quite all right. Okay. Questions coming up. And so, nice to have everyone on board, by the way, in the chat room once again. Okay, we got some questions coming up now that are questions from, okay, let's just go with it here. So Doug Stevens has problems installing sorry, the creators update, and actually he's seen it come through Windows Update, and he's tried dozens of times, and he just can't get the Windows Update to install it. He says it goes up to like 87%, then unexpectedly just goes back and says unable to install updates. Also, some creators update questions from Frank, also talking about ways to install Windows creators update if there's any issues, and also some of the questions that we'll be asking here. So one of the first questions I get very regularly, it's still not there. I check my Windows update, I'm still on anniversary update or 1607, and I still don't have creators update. Is it normal? Should I push it? Once again, not that many people have it. I don't think more than 20%, about 20% of the people right now have it. That means, 4 out of 5 still don't have it. Just out of curiosity, I have a 6-7-year-old Dell here. I just checked just to see if it showed up or something. Nothing. So, be patient. It means that your computer with the telemetry they have is still not ready. Maybe it's a driver that's missing, a driver that's a problem. They know there's some issue, so they're not pushing it to you right now. And that's the good thing of all the telemetry they're getting from PCs. So just be patient. Pretty much everybody that I've seen until now that have issues with it have pushed it. And so be patient and wait for it to arrive. Okay, and questions like, for example, Doug Stevens says it goes to 87%, reverts back, and it says it can install. Some people say it goes up to 100%, but still it's not there when they reboot. Some kind of error and said that they can't continue. So what could you do to help yourself in these times? Okay, one of the first things that you can do is use the Windows 10 Fix-It tool for Windows Update. Have Windows 10 check out Windows Updates to see if it actually can fix the issue. When you get that error in the Windows Update, for example, or if you get something through Windows Update, you can actually go and check more information, and there's one of them is try to fix Windows Update. You can also Google Fix-It tool Microsoft. Make sure you download it from the Microsoft website. It's a Fix-It tool for Windows 10. When Windows Update doesn't work well, it will try to fix. One of the things that can maybe happen in the fact that you can't install the update, okay? Apart from the fact that, yes, it's possible that a driver or something is preventing your system from uploading correctly, from upgrading correctly. One of the things you need to know also is that there could be corruption in the downloaded file that installs Windows. If while the download went through, downloads today are pretty good. In general, they're really, really good at download, the checking, all the tools that are there to make sure that the file is intact and correct. Usually work well, but they're not 100%. It is possible that you've downloaded the update and for some reason some of the bits of the download are not correct. So that, of course, would create a problem while the install would go on. So check it out with that. Check it out with the Fix-It tool. But if you've got it, okay, and this one is mostly for Doug and also for Frank that has that 100% and reverse back. Since you guys have it already showing up in the Windows Update, that means your machine is pretty much ready for it. So go to the Windows 10 page and download it from the Media Creation tool. So what you could do is try a few things. First of all, if you go to the Windows 10 download page, one of the things you'll see at the top of the Windows 10 download page, there's a Update Now button. Click the Update button and let it do through Windows instead of through Windows Update. It's going to download and it's going to try to install it from there. That might actually work. If it doesn't, the second thing that I would say is go down the page of the Windows 10 download page. Click Media Creation Tool. From there, you will have the possibility to download the image file and put it on a USB thumb drive. Stick that USB thumb drive with that Windows 10 on it and try to set it up from there. One of these ways might actually work. If you boot from the USB thumb drive, you might actually have the possibility to have it working. You know, sometimes it does happen that a Windows update, including a major update like the Creators Update, might be stuck because of some process that's running in Windows. So by actually installing it from outside, it actually fixes the issue. So these are a few things you can check for, but you might have to install it using the Media Creation Tool or in another manner than Windows Update. It is possible. So that's for sure. And of course, if it doesn't work well, maybe some process of upgrade through your Windows is not correct, because you know what it's doing right now when you actually go through Windows Update, it takes your Windows 10 operating system, moves things around, installs Windows, and tries to remake the settings and the programs that you have correctly so that they work. Maybe something in there is preventing it from working, and you can then if you can, do a clean install. One of the things also not to take for granted, if you are using a third-party antivirus, Norton, McAfee, or whatever, you know what? I would actually uninstall the antivirus and click again that Windows Update to see if without the antivirus it works. One of the major issues that I see, and one of the questions I've got here, is any problems detected for people that update. I have seen quite a few people saying that they actually had to uninstall their antivirus for it to work well to update. So that could be a possibility. You know, antivirus software sometimes will detect stuff and try to prevent stuff from happening, and maybe it's preventing the Creators Update from getting there. So these are a few things that you should check out. But I think that if you can't, and you know, Doug, you try to install it dozens of times, it's obvious it will not work even if you try 50 times. You've tried so many times yet. And as for that, well, you know what? I think it's you might need to use the Media Creation Tool from the Windows 10 download page. I think that will be the best thing you can do if you want that to work out correctly. So check it out. But I think that's what you will need to do. Use the Media Creation Tool. And like I said, you know, when you go to the Windows 10 download page, there's the Update Now on the top. Try it out. Try it from there and see if it actually works from there. Maybe it's going to be okay and it's going to go through. But you might need to clean install Windows 10 Creators Update. It's not impossible. Sometimes, you know, glitches happen, unfortunately. One thing that I want to come back to, Steve Martin, you know, Steve Martin had asked me a question about the cloning process of a computer, cloning hard drives together. So he was going through, you know, the HP BIOS and everything. So you know, and you were trying to load that cloning software. So I talked through USB. So what I mean by there is that you can actually clone the computer by using some form of docking station through USB. Yes, so you can plug in your hard drive from the USB port instead, and the software would be running on Windows and not on a you know, on a bootable thing. So that would be something that you would need to do. So and what you showed me here, by the way, the picture you sent me is something that would work definitely, and you could clone it from within Windows. And these enclosures, by the way, a lot of them have check the enclosures. Some have the plugs for every type of hard drive. Desktop drives, the bigger 3.5. The laptop drives 2.5 inch, and older drives also if you ever want to clone an older drive. But yeah, by plugging that in USB. And why do they make it so hard? Actually, it's not that they really necessarily make it so hard. The biggest problem is that a lot of the software that's actually being written are not necessarily updated for all computers. And with new technologies that arrive, sometimes some of these software, they don't work well. And even in older computers, I've had many times where the cloning software that you boot from, a DVD or a USB drive, doesn't work for some reason. So there could be all sorts of little things in the computer itself that prevents that software, makes it crash. So it's not that they want to necessarily block you from doing that. But what happens is they probably, some process or something, like I said here, the secure boot thing might actually prevent that boot up of your software to clone. So, and that time you'll need to have the hard drives on a USB connection. And with a Windows software within Windows, you'll have the cloning software and you'll just clone the drives from USB. But it's much longer, of course, than doing it through within the SATA connectors. But it will work for sure. So hope that clears up a little bit on the problem. So also Jacqueline McBride that I want to add says has a blue screen set failed to repair with an error code. So first of all, one of the important things is when there are error codes and there are problems on computers, I need the maximum amount of information, including the error code, because sometimes it might mean that there's a hardware failure on your computer. It might not be that the computer Windows has a problem. It might really be a hardware failure on your computer. That's not impossible. So that information will often help. As for Windows 10 CD or USB stick, what you can do is use another computer. I believe you have more than one computer, Jacqueline. Use another computer. You can go to the Windows 10 download page. There, you can download a copy of the Windows 10 image that you put on a USB stick using the Media Creation tool. And with that, you would be able to reinstall Windows 10 on that computer if the problem is not a hardware issue, because if it is, it will not work. Okay, and one other thing here, Larry Elifritz that says, I noticed the computer has a lot of lag after rebooting system and icons and desktop comes up. And you say that you have a lag and until about 5 minutes after the boot up. Now the system runs normally, but it takes a good 5 minutes. So there's something stuck in your startup. I would start by taking a look by right-clicking at the taskbar on the bottom of your Windows 10 machine. Right-click on the taskbar and go to the Task Manager. There, click the Startup tab and check out what's booting up with your system. Maybe one of those processes are actually giving it a hard time. If you've disabled everything, or if there's not a lot of it, you can use the same Task Manager and look at what process is using either CPU or disk on your system in that first 5 minutes. Look at the different tabs. One of them is okay. Let's just go here for a second. So you can actually go to the Task Manager, and in the Task Manager, I will just check it out here. Look at processes. Look at what's taking up all that's either the CPU time or disk. You can click on the tab to make it follow a specific order by what takes the most or the least of resources. But check it out and try maybe to, if you wonder, maybe you can come back at me and say, okay, I looked at the task manager process. That process, and give me the name, is using 100% disk space or something. So there might be something causing that. Maybe we can fix it. Or maybe you'll need to do a clean install. It's not impossible. But try to, by using the task manager, know what took that time. What is that very, very long time period? What process is actually doing this at the startup? That's going to help me a lot. And remember, anybody that gives me, okay, I've got a problem with my PC, it crashes a blue screen, that doesn't tell me anything. Okay? If you just tell me I have a blue screen, I got no idea why your computer crashed. I don't have information. A blue screen has a gazillion different ways of doing it. By giving me the details, what is being, what file or what error code or anything. So I hope that it's going to be okay with that, because it should be technically okay. But you got to give me more details. Okay, what else do we have? We have reactions and comments to what happened in basically what's going to happen with the show and everything. So I got a lot of reactions. I had one from Stephen Mail also regarding, okay, shows are coming back or not coming back, or what's going to happen. So of course, the majority of what most of you have told me is, okay, I need absolutely to continue. I need to continue. So basically, okay, here's pretty much what's going to happen. So first of all, the next from the couch, which will be on Thursday, will be the last from the couch. Forever, I don't know, but it will be the last for now, and I don't know if it's going to come back or not. One thing for sure is that Gabriel, my nephew, is going to have a job this summer. So of course I cannot see myself do from the couch without him. So forget it. If he's not there, I'm not doing from the couch, that's for sure. The retro gaming, of course, is going to be gone too. I can't really, I don't see myself playing alone. And I, of course, don't feel like continuing it, as the audience is very, very small. So Thursday will be a no more show day. I will be changing that to just making videos. Now, so the thing is, for the shows on Tuesdays, okay, the tech show, the Windows Insider Hour, my first decision, I would say, is that I will have the tech show. So this tech show will continue, okay? It will be different. I will not do it in the same way when I come back. I'm going to see how I can incorporate, because one of the ideas that I've had is maybe take a part of the time to basically maybe talk about some of the weak issues. So, for example, the show would have, kind of a from the couch, but my tech side issue. No gaming news, but really tech news. So maybe like the first half hour or hour would be mostly some of the news items that I find interesting and I want to talk about that happened in the past week. And then we would go into the questions, and pretty much like we are now. So it would be a little different, for sure. Okay, and I am I think I'd like to do it like that. I'd like to have basically maybe the first hour of let's talk about things that happened during the week and the tech stuff, and then we'll have the questions. As for the Windows Insider Hour, I have not taken the decision yet. I might come back with the Windows Insider Hour, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure exactly or what I'm going to do. It will depend, if I decide to maybe do 1 hour of blah blah and talk about the last week in tech, then the questions, it means this show might be a little longer than the average 1 hour and a half to 1 hour 45 minutes we've been having now. So if of course it's longer, I might not do the Windows Insider Hour. Or I did have an idea. I did have doing 2 shows in the same day is a lot of stuff. A lot of you have been talking about blend the Windows Insider Hour with. I kind of like keeping the Windows Insider Hour separate because it's a separate channel also, and I want to dedicate that other channel really to insider stuff as much as possible. So what I was thinking of is maybe use the Thursday time slot for From the Couch to do the Windows Insider Hour. So it will have its separate day of show. And I would do it like at something like 4 p.m. Eastern, 2000 hours UT. So it might have its own day instead of being 2 shows together. You guys, it doesn't show because when you do stuff here, and I can tell you, ask Gabrielle how we run all around, just because we have to scramble from one show to the other and readjust everything. And often it's just an hour's time notice, and so of course the Windows Insider Hour adjustments are very small because pretty much the same look. But the thing is, doing 2 shows is a lot in one day. Doing 1 show is okay, but you know what? I blabber a lot, and what's happening is it even though I love doing this. When you blabber for 2 hours or 3 hours, I can tell you one thing. When you stop, there's some kind of, you feel like a little exhausted. It's as if you gave a lot of energy for a couple of hours. And, that means that instead of having 1 show only in the day, but taking the Windows Insider Hour and pushing it on a Thursday, I think that would be the one that I would do. Okay, so for now, let's one thing for sure here, it's coming back in a different time, a different way of doing things. It's coming back with the first half hour to hour. I'll have some tech news of the week that I want to rant about, talk about, share with you guys and girls. Then answer questions. And that would be the show. And it might be a little longer than this. It might actually go above 2 hours, 2 hours and a half now, instead of just the 1 hour and a half, 1 hour 45 minutes. One of the things that I dislike of this show, I do find that an hour and a half is kind of short. Now, of course, that depends on everybody. A lot of people say I rant too much and I talk too much and it's too long. But not everybody's in the same manner here for that, okay? And so this show's coming back. It will be different. First hour, tech, we'll talk about the week in tech. Then we'll talk about the questions that people have. And we'll just go with the flow. And, it might last 2-3 hours. It will be more of a formula like that. For the Windows Insider Hour, not totally sure yet, but if I do take a decision, it would be that it might take the From the Couch slot. A lot of you seem to think that's pretty cool. So by taking the From the Couch time slot, it would be just 1 show a day, so it's kind of relaxed. The Windows Insider Hour is actually a very relaxed show for me. Just talking about what's happening, latest builds and stuff like that. So I think that's the way that I might do it. As for those that follow me on the radio channel, in the radio channel, I am adding a weekly show. So on the radio side, I will have a show every Fridays. That will be now every Fridays. And every 2 weeks, we will have a Saturday one. So that's how I'm going to work for sure. And also, I am thinking of shows from time to time, and I might actually, by the way, for those that follow me on the radio side, I might have a Shortwave Radio 101, kind of a little course explaining what shortwave is. I would be here, there will be some graphical things to show, where I will actually explain shortwave radio in detail, and for newbies it will be fantastic, and even for advanced radio users. I'm not sure yet, but I might do one tomorrow for an experiment. So for those that follow me on the radio stuff, there might be a shortwave show tomorrow, probably around 2000 hours UT. And so basically, what will come up probably is, like I said, this tech show will be back in a different format. You guys seem to think that it's a good idea in that format that I want to do. The first hour would be the tech news of the week. After that, it would be the questions, and of course, no time limit, so it could be 2-3 hours. It's okay, it's going to be just one anyways. So after that, I'm just going to take it easy. The other thing that I want to say about is, of course, probably the Windows Insider Hour might take the From the Couch time slot. So that one will have its own day and its own time. And finally, radio shows. Will be more radio shows, of course. So it's going to change things around. And it's still going to be a little more relaxed for me because of the with the From the Couch and the retro gaming. It was a big day, From the Couch, retro gaming, when everything was over. I can tell you that me and Gabrielle, we look at ourselves and we're like, whew, okay, that was a day, even though we're having a lot of fun. And as I'm talking From the Couch, remember, last one this Thursday, special From the Couch. It's like we'll have our tech news as usual, but we will also, take the time to just talk and interact with you guys and girls. And I think that's going to be a very nice last show. And of course, and From the Couch, well, of course, like I said, I like the From the Couch show. There's just a lot of, just the mostly the things that happens with From the Couch is, like I said, I can't see myself doing it without him, without Gabriel. It's like our thing. And who knows? It might come back, it might not. I don't know. Maybe it could come back at some other point in time. It could come back maybe with a different format, a different way of doing things. One thing for sure is we'll take the time to see what we can do about it. And last From the Couch, don't miss it on Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. And that's it. I need to think about my future. I need to think about what's going to be, what I need to do. There's all sorts of things that I'm thinking about that could be interesting. I have an idea of also, because one of the things that's going to happen is because I'll have more time on my hands by doing it like this, I will reactivate some channels that have not been active for a little while. For example, I will reactivate the Apple channel that I've got that I will talk about some Apple stuff a little bit. I will reactivate the Android channel, where I'll be having a lot more videos of working with Android. I will also reactivate a little more my Easy Computer Fixes channel that has all sorts of fixes for different types of problems, plus the Insider channel, plus the radio channel, plus the Windows channel. So that means I'm gonna kind of try to do maintain 6 channels, but very regularly. So like every day I'll try to have at least one video for each channel, at least. And so I'll be, of course, trying to play with that. So I'll be, of course, sharing a little more my different channels that I do different things with. And I will be, of course, checking out all that. And one of the ideas I have for the fall, for the for September, like end of August and September, some experimental shows on these different channels. I might have experimental shows on, that's 8 channel, something's wrong. The Apple channel, the Easy Computer Fixes, the Android, the radio, the Insider, and the Windows. That's, I count 6. Did I miss 2 that I didn't think about? So anyways, I'll have experimental live shows on these different channels, and I'll let you guys and girls know about it also. Because one thing that I might try to do, try different shows, see how many people will show up depending on the channel that it is on, and maybe have a way of checking out if I can checking out if I'm maybe I have a live show of something that I could do that would actually have a lot of people watching that I didn't think about. So we'll see that. And by the way, happy birthday, Albert Zappa, which is a young 72 today. And of course you should have a drink. Of course you should have a little drink. It's your birthday after all. So, no, well, share us out. The live shows will be not every week. I will do a special show on the other channels from time to time. Just check out the audience. It's more of a audience research type thing. See what would be more popular, and of course try to maintain the shows of mostly what's popular. The most popular that I've got right now is the radio stuff. My radio channel gets more than 80 to 90 live views, and from time to time I do get above 100 live viewers, and above 1,000 views in just a couple of days. So that's an example of a very interesting audience that I get. So I don't know. We'll see from time to time. Of course, I'm not going to do like 40 million shows also, because I don't want to tire myself. So, and last but not all, next week, this show, the Windows Insider Hour show, will be the last for now. I will come back in August, of course, with that new formula of shows. So next week, we are having our last tech show before the summer. I'll take a summer vacation off of live shows, well, except for maybe a little bit of radio stuff, but mostly take some time off of live shows a little bit. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna I think it's gonna help me a little bit. So that's pretty much what I have to say. Of course, there's Stephen Mail that has his opinion on whatever I do. So he has his own opinion. Says that someone disappointed after watching that Windows Insider show. For any reason you did not do the live tech show after your vacation. A number of us who listen live and on video will be disappointed. Yes, that I know, but then again, you know what? The thing is, the biggest problem is I gotta go where it's sad to talk about money, but money drives the world and drives. I need to pay stuff. I need to pay the rent, and I have to think about my future. So of course, we're gonna come back, but I need to experiment and see what I'm gonna do. I did say this year is a make or break, and it's still the make or break. And right now, it's more of a break than a make. But we'll see. We'll see. So Stephen Mail says, do not combine From the Couch because thinks that it would make maybe a show that's a little too long. That's for sure. And my shows, some of my shows are very long, of course. Yes, mostly the radio ones. So of course you're telling me which shows you like, which shows you don't like, which is fine. Each like the radio stuff has its own audience that is very radio oriented and that love that, and also there's a great chat room with radio guys and girls that enjoy that, so that's pretty cool. You have no interest in gaming, so of course retro gaming is not of interest to you, and From the Couch is not for you also because of some gaming news. It's not just game news, so there's both tech and game, but of course it might not appeal to everyone, that's for sure. But I've had quite a lot of positive stuff. I don't know why somebody's ringing the doorbell. Sorry guys, won't be long. Sorry guys, I'm back. Okay. One of those annoying Jehovah's Witnesses. Like I was almost like, get the F out of here. Okay. And I'm waiting for a package, so I had to go see if it's my package or not. Okay. So as Stephen Mail saying, he's watching the Twit Network, likes the Twit Network, and of course you're talking about what I was talking about. Some people complaining about the drinking on the live shows. I do what I want, these are my shows anyways. I understand some of the things that people will complain about, but one of the things for sure is that these are my shows. I'll pretty much drive them the way I wish. Of course I do take comments. Sorry, I'm after running up and down the stairway. This is a third story building, so I went down and went up running 3 stories. So anyways, of course I do listen to the comments, and they are very welcome. Anytime anybody asks comments on the show, but one of the things for sure is I run my shows my way, and even though I will listen to comments from people, I and sometimes readjust. There are things that if I don't feel like doing, or the beer stuff is gonna stay, of course, because I like having a beer. It's kind of a family thing a little bit. And finally, you are. Yeah, and you're talking, about how trying an experiment and mentioning Windows 8.1. See how many people in the chat room mentioned they hate it. And yes, yeah, I know Windows 8.1 is something that a lot of people don't like. And finally, you say here the minimum requirements for a computer that I will soon buy, but need a new hot water heater costing $850 estimate. So what you'd like is, of course, a desktop or laptop with an i5 or 5 or better, no Chromebook, no AMD processors or Celeron, RAM of at least 8 gigabytes, SSD 256. You do not need an optical drive, Windows 10 any version. You say that Windows 10 S would be upgraded as soon as possible. Ethernet jack, 4 to 6 USB ports of all types, and touch is optional. So, and finally, in conclusion, please keep the live tech show. I also wanted to let you know I do not follow Donna Sarkar. Yeah, I like Donna Sarkar because I like the fact that the different things she has to say. You know, you follow the Windows Insider on Twitter to know when insider builds are available. I like Donna Sarkar for the other things also. I kind of enjoy, you know, watching what she's doing and what she has to say because of she is, after all, the insider head, you know. But of course, you know, that's you know, we each have our little something about that, and it's quite all right. And thanks for the comments, by the way, Stephen Mail. It was appreciated to have the comments, and well, as you now probably know, I will be, of course, continuing. And you know, it's you know, it's fun to have the comments of everybody, and you know, just continue on the different things. And as you know now, you know, I'm coming back with the tech show. I will have a tech first hour. Don't worry, no gaming. It's not from the couch I'm bringing back in that hour. It's my own thing. I will have you know, slides here. I will have the week's stuff I want to talk about in technology. It could have some gaming stuff sometimes, but you know, it's so you know, it's something that that will be very, very tech oriented for sure. So and I think the idea of having maybe of having a the first hour about tech news of the week and stuff that I want to talk about could be very, very interesting for sure. And yes, I did get quite a few complaints of I'm drinking beer on the show. So, you know, as long as I don't get drunk and look like an idiot on the air, I don't see what's the big problem, you know, in most of the time. And nope, you can't please all the people, as Ripple Pearls is saying. So, you know, and okay, man, yeah, here they don't, the solicitation ads and stuff are, people don't care about that. So, okay, let's continue on with the live show. Next question, actually the question is from Alexander Arik in Ukraine, and he's talking about you know, he changed his internet service provider. The company called Airbytes was bought by another large nationwide cable TV called Volia, and he said, no, I do not want to become a Volia subscriber. Company does not respect their clients. And you're talking about Ukraine having more than 6,000 internet service providers. Even private entrepreneurs can actually be internet providers. Most of them are small local companies. So, okay, you're talking about that. You're talking about the cost. For example, you say that switching to another ISP in Ukraine is easy. If you live in a multi-story building, it's free or symbolic. One Ukrainian currency thing, one UAH. So in the private sector, And but if you have a detached house with a yard, garden, and stuff like that, it could cost typically $50 to $100, sometimes more. So interesting to see here. You say that most of the people connected by Ethernet and private sector connected by fiber optic or Ethernet ADSL connection is not popular. And it's interesting to see. So you talk about your first ISP, Internet Service Provider, but that had 50 megabits per second and paid around $7.5 US in currency for that connection. That's wow. Now the same package in this company costs 100 Russian rubles, which is $3.18 US. Wow. Okay, that's very inexpensive internet, I can tell you that. So very inexpensive when you think about it. So of course, for 50 megabits per second, I should pay around $4. So that's very inexpensive when you look at that. So you have some questions that come with this, of course, with the fact that you try a thing called 6-to-4, which enables IPv6 connections through a provider that does not offer IPv6, and you're wondering, of course, you say that you weren't able to really have it working correctly. Says my IP address is not pingable, and you talk about a private IP rather than a kind of a public IP, and so it's kind of interesting here to see the differences, and you have some questions with that. So it's very interesting because you made me look at stats, because one of the things I was wondering here is this different stats. Now that you're talking, first of all, your internet service providers at $3 or $4 is so inexpensive. It's just amazing. And here it's quite expensive for our internet service. To give you an idea, here the most basic of internet service, which is kind of crappy, will run you at least 30 Canadian dollars, which is maybe 25 US dollars. And just to give you an idea, I've got 120 megabits per second now, and it costs me, including the taxes and everything, about $100 a month Canadian, which is roughly 80 US dollars a month for 120 megabits download. Gives you an idea that it's a little expensive. Now, some of the questions. What do you think about first about it? So, of course, very inexpensive, but very interesting on how it's actually set up in your country and everything. The prices are amazing, and of course, we don't have the same. Here the average salary is much higher. The average salary in Canada is like $600 a week, and that's an average. So it gives you an idea, of how much versus Now, tell something about Canadian ISPs. Okay, here we have several hundred ISPs. If you look in in the yellow pages, or if you look on the internet, just in Montreal, we probably have over 100 internet service providers that you can actually hook on the internet with. But there's a little thing that you need to know about Canadian internet service providers. Here, there are basically two major networks, and that's the important thing. We have the phone company called Bell that actually owns or pretty much has control of all the telephone lines. We have here Videotron, which is a major Quebec company for cable TV. It has control of the cable, But what happens is the other ISPs, so you've got these two big ISPs that control the cabling, but the other ISPs, to give you access, have their own servers, but need to use the other companies, the Bell phone or fiber optic, or Videotron fiber optic or cable. So they go through the other's network. It's a rule here that companies need to share their fiber optic and their cable with small providers. It is a rule here. It's something that has to be done. So basically, that's something that you need to know for sure. As far as these ISPs, they all have specific or specific connections, basically that they use through the big ISPs. Now, what exactly is the price here? Of course, there's a few of the people that will have had some, smaller ISPs try to have interesting prices, but there's here it's like everybody's holding their price close to each other, so you choose what you want. But you know what? It's mostly it's a thing that's just it costs a large amount of money here in Canada to just get the internet, and wherever and however you pay for internet, you kind of get screwed here in Canada. There's no real one of the things that I've changed that was a big issue a few years ago, data caps. Canadian ISPs were at the end of the 90s and early 2000, they didn't have data caps. You could download as much as you want, but the ISPs all at some point in the year 2005, 2006 decided that because of a lot of people, they were saying that because a lot of people were using torrents, it was using too much data, they started putting data caps. And until I started my live shows, I had I believe 60 megabyte data cap, gigabyte, sorry, 60 gigabyte data cap every month. So I had to go down. As for people going telling me there's problems with the output, my output here is fantastically good. So it might be somewhere on the network because I am green on both the output of my laptop and on the page. But I did see that I did lose some viewers, so there's something going on probably. I'll try what I try from time to time when I do this. I'll close the stream for 10 seconds and I'll start it again. And here we are back. So I don't know if it's going to change anything, but you guys will see. It sometimes does happen. So, I hear everything's green, so technically it should be okay for the output. So it could be a YouTube issue. So anyways, apart from that, you're talking about, and there's a wide range of differences around the world depending on what company and who you are going to use. And so, every country seems to be very different. As far as do you think a real IP address is important? Well, it's, you have assigned IP addresses that are from companies, and of course you need to have an IP to go on the internet. It's something that you have to, but it has to be a valid IP for sure. So, but you know what? It might be. I don't know. I'd like to see exactly how it works with, when you say that there's like local IPs and everything. Because, for example, your computer might be on the local IP, which would actually be, I'm on my router here, so my computers all have one IP, which is 192.168.0. something, depending on what connection it gets on the router. But there's the general IP from my internet service provider. Technically, everybody should have a different one. As for IPv6, is it important to have access to it? You know what? It's very interesting because you made me realize I need to check out. I've got IPv6 connectivity here, and basically IPv6 is something that is only on 16% of ISPs around the world right now. So it gives you an idea. 16% of internet service providers actually are on IPv6. That's not a lot. That means, yes, it will be at some point very important that you get on IPv6, for sure. Because, at some point, websites will have IPv6 address instead of the regular IPv4. The difference is IPv4 had something like, I don't know, around billions of addresses available, and they're all taken out now. And so IPv6 will have like trillions of combinations possible, so we're not going to really run out soon. But it does require your internet service provider and your devices, including the router you're using and the modem you're using, to be IPv6 compliant. And that apparently is only 16% right now. So that's not a lot of people. That's really not a lot of people. And so that's as of May 2017, and I got this information out of Wikipedia, by the way. So kind of interesting. So I don't think it's going to be a problem right now. I have seen a few issues. Did I see people having problems with ISPs? One of the things is that I have, with some very exceptional moments, noticed IPv6 problems for people that didn't have the IPv6 compatibility. And I saw it with a friend of mine. He had an old router that did not support IPv6, and it could not access a specific page it needed to see. I do not believe that IPv6 is a 100% needed requirement right now, because, like I said, 16% only have it right now. But in the coming years, it's something that's going to be important. And you know what? Your ISPs will probably upgrade when it gets to a moment where everybody's going to complain, hey, I can't see these web pages because they're IPv6 only address. So, not to panic about the fact you don't have it now, but at some point in the future, it's going to be important. Just remember, 16% of ISPs around the world have upgraded that with IPv6, so not a lot right now. Is it safe to use services such as 624, Toretto, or Tunnel Broker? I don't know a lot about those. I cannot really tell you if is it safe or not to use. I cannot pronounce myself. I was looking at Tunnel Broker, for example. It's free service. I would guess there's something. Free services are always something that you got to be careful with. It's easy in between point A and point B to add something in the middle. So that's where I'm scared with these services. But apart from that, don't really know. And say, how can I set up IPv6 if always my new provider blocks? Wait for now. It's not something that you necessarily need right away. It will eventually be needed, but you know what? That ISP will have updated its services so that you get IPv6 support. And by the way, just out of the blue, because you were talking about some of the things happening in Ukraine. On a shortwave radio, I have Radio Ukraine International that I listen to. And I am very, very well aware of the situation going on in Ukraine right now. Very, very complex issue, and hope everything's all right. And so hope my answers are, helping you out a little bit here. It's very interesting, and you made me actually try, find a few more information that I needed to find about IPv6 and everything. So it's pretty interesting. Okay, what else do we have? What else do we have? Okay, web questions, and that one comes from our friend Stefan. Stefan is located in the state of Arizona in the United States, and he says that he enjoys my live show very much. First comment that he has about I hope that we're not going to lose this excellent resource of yours that is the tech show where we answer questions. Even though I don't have too many problems in general, I did actually learn a lot from your live tech shows where you answer questions and you made me realize things I didn't understand or didn't know about in my computer. And it is something that is just so wonderful. And by the way, yes, thank you. I did receive your donation. It's very, very much appreciated, Stefan, by the way. And okay, the questions you've got are related to the web itself. So first of all, you want to know what is the dark web. You've been hearing about it, and you want to know what is the dark web exactly. So dark web refers to a place on the internet, a part of the World Wide Web that is accessible by a special software. So you'll need a special browser to access the dark web, for example. It's sometimes also called darknets. It is a part of the internet that is encrypted. So everything is encrypted between the different websites and the different servers in your computer using that browser. It actually has also a way of redirecting you through many different servers in a way that it's very difficult to actually trace you. It's sometimes referred as the onion routing or the onion web, and often, of course, some of these websites will have .onion at the end. And there are websites, for example, there's Facebook. Facebook has a facebook.onion address. So you can actually have a Facebook access totally anonymous and encrypted. And Facebook actually add that because they know that some people want to be on Facebook. They are from a certain country where things are a little heavy and they can't really freely express their own comments. By using the dark web, well, they can be more of a anonymized, not really, the things are encrypted and you don't really know where that person is. So it has a good side to it, is the fact that it really helps in keeping you as private, secure as possible, anonymous as possible. But of course, there's all sorts of things happening with that that we've learned about. It is a place, unfortunately, because of its encrypted state, and of course, because of its anonymous state. It is a place where a lot of illegal activity actually goes through. So there's pedophiles, there's drug dealers, there's people that want to do illegal, all sorts of illegal traffic, illegal business on the web will do it on the dark web because of its anonymous and encrypted state, which makes it difficult for law enforcement to really know actually who you are and where you are. And of course there's a few cases of for example, I was reading a few months ago of a pedophile ring that was actually they arrested tons of people across the world, including here in Canada, by the way. And what happened in the dark web, actually, it was I was reading that article for I'm interested in, for example, the way law enforcement can, in the dark web, for example, find you and arrest you. So what they actually did, the FBI in the United States set up a dark web server where they could actually reroute some of the dark web traffic. So say there were 10,000 pedophiles. They did not see all 10,000 pedophiles, but they would catch some of them that will go through that server. And basically, they actually arrested the pedophiles by having all of those that were going through the server that they could identify and trace back to where they were from. Because that server, of course, they could unencrypt what was coming from the web. And so basically it's really nice to see how they did it. So it shows you that, okay, the dark web is a place where you're anonymous. You access the dark web with there's different browsers, but the most popular browser for the dark web is Tor, Thor. It is a browser that is just made for that, and basically it kind of anonymizes you and keeps you safe. But like I said, a lot of bad stuff is happening there because of its encrypted, anonymous nature. So there's a lot of things happening in the dark web also. But law enforcement is more and more accessing the dark web to try to find the bad stuff that's happening in there. So it's very interesting to see how they can trace people and do things. So don't think that because you're there it's a total you're not anonymous totally. You're not necessarily impossible to trace back, I can tell you. The other question you've got, please explain modem and router, what's the difference? And you say that you want to know that because your ISP actually has provided you a modem, and that's the modem. Now you bought a laptop, and the laptop with Wi-Fi, you wanted to use Wi-Fi, and you had to add a router, which is also provided by your ISP for a small fee. So you're wondering, what is the difference between the modem and the router exactly? And wouldn't the modem be able to do that also? Very simple. The modem, which is a modulator, demodulator type device, receives the incoming frequency signal, radio signal, because it's mostly radio signals that come out of the cable, or if it's fiber optic, it's visual. It's a information through laser or light. And basically your modem takes the information from your internet service provider, changes that into a digital format that your computer can use. So it actually gives you that internet access. it connects with your internet service provider to give you that internet access. Your router is basically a device that takes that internet access that your modem is sending out to you and can share it in multiple ways. So a router is like part of it is a switch, which means it can actually send that internet service through multiple devices. In your case, you got a laptop, you wanted Wi-Fi, it's sending it through radio signals in your room. So it's a device that takes the internet your modem can actually give you and just shares it with multiple other devices. So it routes the internet through different devices. For example, here I've got 3 computers running right now. So my router is actually right now sharing that that internet connection with all 3 devices that I've got here. So that's the job of the router. The router is here to simply either do a Wi-Fi or share it with multiple devices. And as for the question, wouldn't the modem be able to do that? Some ISPs have a modem router. It does both things. Now, it doesn't mean that it's a modem, just a modem. It is a mix of both devices within the same box. So they took the internet, side of the modem, getting the internet from your ISP. They took the router side of a router and they just put it in the same box, connected together. And so yes, there are modems slash routers that exist out there. Some ISPs actually have that instead of having 2 devices. And finally, you say that in the late 90s, you remember going on the web and connecting to chats with IRC. And you're wondering, does that still exist? Do people still do that? Of course, people still do that. There's still people on the IRC, the Internet Relay Chat, which is a specific side of the web, and it is it still does exist. You can actually access it from many web pages. If you type IRC access in Google, you will see pages that you can go through that will actually allow you to go to IRC chat rooms without even having to install any software. You can also use a software called XChat. I got it on my PC here. XChat, HEXCHAT. XChat is a free IRC client and works well, and you can actually connect to different servers around the world and have a chat going on. There's still a lot going on IRC. I would have thought over the years it would be something nobody wants anymore. I gotta say, it is surprising how many people are still there chatting through these different channels on IRC. So yep, IRC still there, still exists. Hope I answered your question, my friend. Other web questions that I've got, and these are coming from Philip. Philip says, hello, love your show. Here are my questions. Is Wikipedia accurate? You say that you've heard a lot of people say Wikipedia is not accurate, should not be used for facts and information. What do you think? Okay, here's the thing. Okay, is Wikipedia accurate? Now, you got to be careful. A lot of people that are, I would say those, all the people that think that, the conspiracy theorists will all say, and will pretty much all tell you, Wikipedia is not accurate, it's no good. Things there are not right. Okay, here is why I'm going to tell you, here is what I'm going to tell you. Wikipedia, first of all, many websites, many places, as I've compared, for example, Encyclopedia Britannica with Wikipedia to see how accurate the information is in there. First finding is that they're finding that Wikipedia is actually more accurate than Encyclopedia Britannica. gives you an idea. Wikipedia, they've checked like 1,000 articles, and pretty much the same or even a lower rate of errors in the facts in the information. Where Wikipedia is, people are going a little nuts is when it goes to talk about some sensitive issues. So, okay, people will say, well, you know, when it talks about, I don't know, you go to Wikipedia, you search for information on the planet Mars, people will say, oh yeah, absolutely, you know, that's good, that's a good article of planet Mars. But if you tell them, okay, give me the information about Barack Obama, or search Wikipedia for Jesus, now that's the sensitive stuff. And what's happening is that Wikipedia has, you know, anybody can become a Wikipedia article writer. You have a subject, there's no article, or the article you see there is no good, you can write one if you want. But where it's important to understand, remember, there are thousands and thousands of dedicated Wikipedia people there that are just there to go to the different articles and see if they're accurate or not. So the reason why Wikipedia is very accurate, even in sensitive issues, is because if you're a Republican and you can change articles on Wikipedia, you might want to say Barack Obama is a bad guy. And so what happens is that, yes, that could happen, but usually the thing about that is that there's so many people watching all these articles that it doesn't take time, that it's actually put back in the correct facts, basically. Another thing that you got to understand, sensitive articles are locked down, and very few people have access to these articles to actually put the facts there. So whatever article you're reading on Wikipedia, it, yes, is a very good source. And you know what? I'm sure I'm going to get bashed, because every time I talk about Wikipedia, I always get this hate mail that says, well, you don't know what you're talking about, Wikipedia is crap, everything in there's a lie. And that comes from, you know, conspiracy theorists, from people that simply think that because they believe the world is flat, it can be true that it's round, and Wikipedia is a problem. It's saying that the earth is round and it's not. Okay, but I'm not one of those. I actually will tell you, Wikipedia articles are damn good, and they are worth checking out. They are very, very good. Also, you're saying, how does Google work to bring all those search results? Well, you know, Google is it's really there's a very, very big algorithm inside Google that really is amazing. I mean, there are many search providers, that have appeared over the years. I remember when I got in the internet on the late 90s, the internet service, the search was with Yahoo. I would do Yahoo searches. It was just, Yahoo was the great thing back then. But you know, when Google arrived, Google did something very, very unique and interesting. And it's that basically the thing is that the algorithm was able to not only give you a match of the items you're searching for, but also to close in on your location and give you more accurate results. So that changed everything. Very simple, because on Yahoo in 1998, you would search for pizza, and you'd get a pizzeria in Italy, and you'd say, well, okay, because I can't really order pizza from Italy to here. I want to have pizza from Montreal. Well, Google fixed that. When you wrote pizza, it started giving you, oh, all the pizza places around you. It is an amazing piece of code that is constantly being worked on and finding everything you want. So it's pretty, it goes, it's very surprising. And if you want to really learn a lot about it, there's a website called How Stuff Works. Go to How Stuff Works and type how does Google work. You'll be amazed at all the little intricate details of how Google can do something. And finally, you say, how can I test my internet speed? Two places that are very, very good for that. Fast.com, Fast.com, or speedtest.net. Two great places that will give you very accurate readings of your internet speed. Hey chatroom, before we go to the chatroom, I'm going to read a little something that comes to us from Viperboard. Tommy sent me a little message today. So first of all, he wants to say that he has a laptop with Windows 7 on it, and that of course the only problem he's got with Windows 7 is Windows Update problems. But he says that he likes Windows 7, and even though he doesn't use it a lot, he thinks it's a good operating system, and wanted to give his little comment on that. As for the Windows 10 versions, other than Windows 10 Home, Pro, and Enterprise, he does, he wants to share about the fact that there's, what Microsoft announced this week of 3 new versions of Windows 10 that's going to bring it to, I don't know how many versions, but it's like, God, Microsoft, please stop doing things. He also thinks that there's like way too many versions of Windows and it's just going crazy. And he does think that it's a lot of operating systems, a lot of versions for nothing. One of the things that he wants to say, also asks as a question, is how can he know if your hard drive is failing or not? And he was wondering about that. He's got a computer, 7-year-old Dell Inspiron 530, and you see you're not a very tech savvy guy to change hard drives, but he says that you were wondering if there's a way to see if the hard drive is failing. Some hard drives fail very suddenly. Some hard drives are like fine today, and tomorrow you just boot your PC and it's like, okay, hard drives failed and it's just gone. Sometimes it gives you a warning. For example, your PC has something called SMART. SMART is a way for your PC to check the error rate of the hard drive. If your hard drive starts failing slowly, your BIOS, when you boot your PC, on the BIOS screen, on the first screen you see, for example on that Dell machine, you would have a warning saying, a SMART saying that their hard drive is failing. And that's because if there's a percentage of error reads and writes that is accepted on the hard drive, SMART monitors that all the time. And when it goes above a certain percentage, it will start warning, okay, I've got more errors than usual. That is one warning that you might see. Sometimes one of the things that I've seen a failing drive do, computer slows down to a crawl. And it has nothing to do with not enough memory or anything. It's usually quite sudden. It still loads and everything, but it's so slow in everything that it does. And often you see that the hard drive's constantly working. Now that could be another way that it's failing sometimes, and it takes an unusually long time for everything to be read on the hard drive. That could show, but you don't always know if a hard drive fails. And what I do here, and it's very simple as a tech guy, what I do is I change my hard drives regularly on my laptops. The most important laptops that I got, so for example my Core i5 here, which is the main PC driving everything, every year and a half or two I change the hard drive with a new one. and so I've never really had a failed hard drive on any of my PCs, my main PCs, because I change it so often that I've never experienced one myself. Funny thing is, the last time that I changed my hard drive on that Toshiba, I kept it separate, and the funniest thing is it failed about 3 months after I had changed it. So it was about to fail anyways. So, you know, I usually change it regularly just to make sure. And, you know, I think that opportunity also to have a bigger drive, you know, like it had a 600 gigabyte drive. Now I got a terabyte drive because I've changed it and for something bigger. And of course, you know, I could change it for an SSD, for example. But, you know, it's not always possible. And there are software that might tell you, you know, often the software that comes with from the manufacturer of the hard drive, Seagate or whatever, might have software that will check for your hard drive if it's failing or not. But you know, just use it. Make sure you back up everything. And as for changing a hard drive, by the way, you maybe not be very tech savvy. I can tell you one thing: it's much easier than you think. A lot of people don't do it. And I gotta say, changing a hard drive in a PC is one of the easy things to do most of the time. You find it sad that From the Couch is leaving, and for a while. And as you say, good things must come to an end. So yeah, unfortunately, this is something. But we'll replace it with the Windows Insider Hour probably. And so thanks for your comments and for the installs. As long as you install them or they install, even if it's manually, you know, it's okay. It's just that don't go behind too much in the you know, in the updates. Don't keep it too far back in the updates. Try to do it as often as you can if it's manually. Okay, and what do we have? So hello there, Ismail Massa says hello. Been watching you since very beginning. Thanks. How can I recuperate a lost that I had a notepad on my desktop? I did try file recovery. That's when I noticed that ITM was off. Then a YouTube video that was very difficult. Third-party software like Recuva. I don't know, but do you have a better recommendation? Thanks as always. Keep teaching us that wants to know computer tips. Hey Ismail, as for yeah, it's very difficult. You might not be able, if it's a working computer, you lost something that you wrote down. If you've been using your computer a lot, the problem is that the file will have been overwritten by some other file, and you might not be able at all to actually recover that file, unfortunately. And finally, Eduardo Morera says, is Chrome actually the best browser? If not, then which browser is the best? The question, the answer to that I will always say is the best browser is the one that you use and that you like. For the rest, who cares? So if you like, if you use it and like it, it's all right. I don't really like to, you know, really you know, say that browser is better than another or anything. I am at the point where I'm going to do some browser speed tests, by the way, so that also might give you an idea. Hey everyone, welcome aboard. Tim Robinson, Grateful Pearl, Stephen Mail, Sheris as Danny, Shortwave Radio DX, Jacqueline McBride with her fantastic gaming PC, David Walker, Albert Zappa, happy birthday, Gripple Pearls, Miss Lady Catherine, Danny, Shortwave Radio DX, 1990 Sunbird. What else do we have? Cosmic Lettuce, that's left us. Abundant Fun 444, Missing out on anybody? Please say hello if I'm not haven't said hi. I did see a question from Tim a little earlier. Have I gone to the dark web? Yes, I've used it several times to try it out for fun. Yes, I did use it, and I do have the Tor browser installed on my laptop. Kind of interesting to see. What else do we have? By the way, Jacqueline McBride, I gave you a few ideas. If you watch the show again, I gave a few ideas at the beginning of the show for your blue screen laptop, what you could do. So just check that out. Danny Shortwave says I had a recent hard drives that failed with a few months, and it was sudden. I think the older drives were more reliable for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. It's very unique, but I'd say 75% of hard drive fails are very sudden. In most cases, it's you boot up the next morning and it doesn't work. Hard drive's dead. So hey, Kirk Weber, nice to have you here. David Walker. So it's nice to have everybody, of course. And by the way, next week, last show before I take my summer break. And you know what, Stephen Mail, I know you missed that good news, bad news of the week. Maybe we could all incorporate that in the return of the tech show. I could do the 1 hour tech of the week, finish it with the good news and the bad news of the week, and then go into questions. That could be cool. That could be a nice way to complete the show. It's funny because I've noticed one thing is every time I rant about something, it's like, I don't know, I have 10,000 more views. It's just funny. No breaks. Kirk, I got to take a break or else I'm gonna go nuts. It's very important that, but in July is going to be very difficult for me to do shows in here. So I've got an anniversary today. 7 years married today. So kind of nice. Smart is why Smart misses things. You know what, Tim, is because it happens very often that a hard drive fails. Not because of having difficulty reading or writing, but because of a head crash, of the arm actuator, wearing out. It's mechanical. Smart only detects one type of problem, and it's the error rate. So of course your computer, your hard drive might fail, but never really have a higher error rate. For sure. So what else do we have here? So when I come back, probably I was thinking maybe early or mid August. So I'll definitely give an official date during July, but early to mid August. July will be off for sure, but it's going to be interesting. So we'll be back anyways, and that, I think that's a good idea. Having the good news, bad news. You know what? I'll take notes because I want to do an interesting show. I think that could be interesting. I'll take notes for the structure of the tech show when it comes back. And it will have, I think that's an interesting idea. So the tech news of the week. We'll talk about what I find interesting. Then I will end it with now is the good and the bad news of the week. And then we'll go to, and we'll make it general. You know, I used to make the good and the bad news from Microsoft of the week. But I think I will enlarge it to the good and the bad news of the week in technology. Simply technology. And then we'll have the questions of everybody. I think that's going to be cool. I need my gel fix. For those on the radio side, I will be continuing my radio shows up to the end of June, the last day of June. What I will be doing is then taking July off. Not totally for the radio side. I might do 1 or 2 shows in July, but not every week. And come back in August, of course, with the live shows as usual and everything. So, but you know, I think that that is going to be interesting. So, you know, the good and bad news of the week, you know, of everything. So that's going to be, I think, nice. So, you know, I already have a nice little structure. So you guys know a bit what I'm thinking about when we come back. And so we'll have 2 slides. I'll have the slides for the things I want to talk about, then the slides for the good, the bad news, and then we'll get back to the PowerPoint presentation for the questions, and of course end with hello to the chat room and everybody. I think that will be a nice structure for the comeback of the tech show. I wanted to do something different with this show. You know, for sure I didn't want to leave this show. I do still want to maintain, you know, one of the first things that maybe I wasn't clear because I got a lot of panicked people in mail. But one of the things that I probably maybe not explained well, one of the things is sure is that I did not want to do 0 Windows or 0 tech shows. I just wanted to do it different. But sad Grateful Pearls, we missed your birthday in July. That's sad. Max said Room Jill video. Tim. So yeah, next week is Kurt, the last one for maybe we could, you know, I could just check out already and give you guys a date. Let's see here. So if I look at August, let me just check that out here. August. What do you guys say that I come back? Yeah, Patch Tuesday, August 8th. It will be Patch Tuesday, and I think that would be you know, nice. Because anyways, I'll be doing tons of videos for the Patch Tuesday of August. So Patch Tuesday, August the 8th is when we're coming back. So here it is, official date. Patch Tuesday of August the 8th. We're back with our new format of the tech show. That's going to be different and interesting. I think it's going to be interesting. You know, I wanted to have, because one of the things that I like from the couch that I wanted to kind of keep was the tech news of what's happening in the week. Now, one of the things also is that, of course, I'm not a gamer, so I'm not much of a gamer. Gabriel's much more of a gamer, so there's not going to be a lot of not going to have a lot of sometimes I might have a gaming news in there, but most of the time it will be mostly for the tech stuff in general. So we'll be back with our new format on August 8th of the tech news of the week, the good and the bad news of the tech week, and the questions from everybody. So I hope everybody's going to enjoy that new format. and I'll try to think on how I can also improve and change the way that this looks right now. I do kind of like, the way that I'm doing it right now with the big screen, but we'll see, and let's hope it's not going to be too hot, for sure. So, hey, Sheriff's House. So, pretty cool. Explain what is happening with Skype. Why did they have to rebuild it from the ground again? Actually, Ripple Pearls, they decided to do a new version of Skype, mostly. And Skype had a lot of flaws and a lot of problems in the way that it was designed. Skype, a lot of people left Skype because they just couldn't bear with it anymore. And the team simply decided, you know what, if we want to do a great Skype experience, we got to start again. Hey, Bobby Burgess, nice to have you here. I think I forgot to mention and say hello. And so basically what happened is that they've decided to do it from scratch, and they actually had a Skype Insider team. So they had input from people saying, okay, what I want in Skype, what I hate Skype, and how it should be designed. And actually, I'll be, in the next few weeks, I'll be posting a video with the new Skype experience, for sure. As for killing it on Windows 10 Mobile, the Messenger app, Windows 8, 8.1, it simply means that if you have a Windows phone, you will not have Skype anymore, and the Messenger app that is linked with Skype will not work anymore, and that's for Windows Phone. And that was something that Microsoft had announced a few months back, and it also shows that Microsoft doesn't want to continue really helping out much the Windows Phone world anymore. So that's pretty much what's happening with that. So, but interesting. If you guys saw my news bulletin today, there's leaks. Apparently, I don't know if it's true or not. It's mostly there's apparently a Surface phone in China somewhere where that the Surface phone works with the real Windows 10 experience, so it's a real Windows 10 in it, running on ARM. That idea of a projector to project the screen of your phone on a wall, for example, and use it as a desktop is kind of a very, very interesting idea, I gotta think. Yeah. You guys are really, really gonna miss me. Man, but you know what? I think I need it. I really need the break. I think it's something that is very important to keep my mental health, and also redirect and see what else I can try and do for the fall, and check it out. So hey everyone, Windows Insider Hour in 1 hour and 10 minutes from now, so just a little bit over an hour from now. So if anyone wants to join in, we will be talking about the Microsoft gaffe, the major problem, and I just still don't understand what the hell happened. And of course, we'll be talking about my blue screen. I had a blue screen of that on my Insider Preview machine for the first time, and all sorts of little things. So we'll be checking that out for sure. And yep, I will need to recharge my batteries a little bit. And for the Insider Hour, I've got a few beers that are in the freezer right now to keep them real cold. So, but you know, I think it's going to be very, very important for me to take a break of live shows. It is very time consuming, very demanding. It doesn't show, but very demanding. So, you know, Great Ball Pearls, they just want to push everything on everybody. That's Microsoft's way of doing things. And that will not change. I don't think that will change. So, hey, see you in an hour and 10 minutes. And you know what, David Walker? I actually had the same thing go through my head. I was like, did the insider team get drunk and somebody did something that they shouldn't have done? I had that go through my mind, I gotta say. So anyway, see you guys in an hour and 10 minutes for the Insider Show. And please be here for the From the Couch show on Thursday, 4 p.m. Last one. It's going to be very, very, very emotional, probably very special moment. Me and Gabriel are going to, of course, have our show, but also take it relax and talk about, you know, all sorts of things. So, so take care, everyone, and see you a little later. And if not, see you on Tuesday from the couch. For those that are here only for the tech show, of course, next Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, that will be the one last show before we come back in August. Take care, everybody. Sorry for the buffering issues and everything. Unfortunately, got nothing here that's negative. I'll be checking the recorded show to see if it has lots of little bits that are missing. Because here it's green all the way, so I wonder if it's not a streaming issue with YouTube itself. So see y'all later in an hour and 9 minutes. I'm going to go make myself a few very non-interesting frozen burritos that I'll put in the microwave. See you a little later. Take care all. Take care all.